Halloween, a night of costumes, candy, and fright? Or is it? What if I told you that the true origins of Halloween are far darker and more ancient than we've been led to believe? What if beneath the playful masks and spooky decorations lies a history filled with blood rituals, spirits of the dead, and unspeakable horrors? In today's journey into the past, we'll unravel the terrifying truth behind Halloween, and by the end, you might never look at the holiday the same way again. Let's begin. Over 2,000 years ago, long before Halloween was a celebration of costumes and candy, there was Samhain, an ancient Celtic festival marking the end of the harvest and the beginning of the dark, cold winter. October 31st wasn't just another day, it was the Celtic New Year. But this was no joyful celebration. The Celts believed that on this night, the boundaries between the living and the dead blurred. For one night, spirits could pass from their world into ours. The dead would return to roam the earth, while dangerous supernatural creatures, known as the Hallows, were unleashed. Imagine that. An entire night where the dead walk freely among us. It wasn't just a time to celebrate. It was a time to protect yourself. To keep the wandering spirits and malevolent beings at bay, the Celts performed sacrifices. Livestock was slaughtered, crops were burned, and in some cases, even human lives were taken. All to appease the spirits of Samhain and ensure that the coming winter wouldn't be filled with death. Can you imagine the fear that gripped the villages during this time? People huddled around massive bonfires, dressed in animal skins to disguise themselves from evil spirits. They believed that if they didn't make these offerings, if they didn't mask themselves, they might become the next sacrifice. The question is, what happened to those who didn't? As centuries passed and the Roman Empire expanded, the influence of Christianity began to reshape the landscape. But pagan beliefs like Samhain were deeply ingrained in the people, so the church decided to take a different approach. Instead of erasing the traditions, they absorbed them. Pope Gregory III declared November the 1st All Saints' Day, a day to honor saints and martyrs. The night before became known as All Hallows Eve, the precursor to what we now call Halloween. But here's where it gets interesting. Even though the name changed, the essence of the festival remained. The fear of spirits, the need to protect oneself from the otherworldly. It all lingered. The bonfires continued, the disguises became more elaborate, and the night was still filled with unease. What's even more eerie is how the church's attempt to control the narrative only fueled the fear. People now believed that not only were spirits walking the earth on Halloween night, but the souls of those who had died in sin could return to haunt the living. Imagine being told that your loved one who didn't make it to heaven might come knocking on your door that night, seeking revenge, or worse. As Halloween spread through Europe, so did the paranoia. The 15th century marked a terrifying era of witch hunts. Witchcraft was seen as a direct connection to the devil, and Halloween, with its association to spirits and the supernatural, became a time of heightened fear. People believed that witches would gather on Halloween night, performing dark rituals, summoning demons, and cursing those who had wronged them. Tens of thousands of innocent people, mostly women, were accused of practicing witchcraft. They were burned, drowned, and hanged, all in the name of purging the evil from society. Halloween had become synonymous with fear of the occult, and the witch trials only deepened that connection. The mere mention of Halloween sent shivers down the spine of communities who believed that the devil himself was walking among them. But here's the twist. Many of the accused witches were simply healers, herbalists, or those who didn't fit into societal norms. And yet, the hysteria was unstoppable. What must it have felt like, living in a village where every glance, every whisper, could be seen as evidence of witchcraft? Knowing that on Halloween night, the fear of witches and the unknown was at its peak, and it could be your last night alive. When Halloween finally made its way to America, Thanks to Irish immigrants in the 19th century, the holiday began to take on a lighter tone. Gone were the human sacrifices and witch hunts, replaced by trick-or-treating and harmless pranks. But the dark origins never fully disappeared. Think about it. Why do we wear costumes? Why do we carve jack-o'-lanterns and tell ghost stories on Halloween night? These traditions are remnants of the ancient fear that the dead could walk the earth. Jack-o'-lanterns, originally carved from turnips, were meant to scare off wandering spirits. The costumes we wear today, they started as a way to confuse the ghosts, so they wouldn't recognize you and take you to the underworld. Yet beneath all the fun and games, there's an underlying tension that remains. Halloween is still a night where the line between the living and the dead feels just a little thinner. Even now, strange occurrences are reported on Halloween. Unexplained sounds, ghostly apparitions, flickering lights. Could it be that some spirits never really left? As Halloween continued to evolve in the 20th and 21st centuries, it became a playground for urban legends and ghost stories. Haunted houses, cursed graveyards, and demonic possessions. These tales have found a home on Halloween night. But the truth behind some of these legends is far scarier than fiction. Take the story of Stingy Jack, for example. This Irish legend tells of a man who tricked the devil himself, but was doomed to wander the earth forever, his soul trapped in a hollowed-out turnip, now a jack-o'-lantern. Imagine living in a time where you believe that spirits like Stingy Jack could actually come for you on Halloween night. Or consider the countless haunted locations where paranormal activity spikes on Halloween. People report seeing ghostly figures, hearing disembodied voices, and feeling an eerie presence that chills them to the bone. It's as if the spirits of the dead truly do return, just like the Celts believed over 2,000 years ago. Could it be that some things never really change? Halloween may look like a harmless night of fun and candy, but its origins are far darker than most realize. Beneath the costumes, the carved pumpkins, and the ghost stories lies a history rooted in fear, death, and the unknown. A history that reminds us that sometimes the past isn't so far away. So the next time you celebrate Halloween, remember the ancient rituals, the spirits of the dead, and the witch hunts that define this eerie night. And ask yourself, are you truly alone on Halloween? Or is there something else, lurking in the shadows? If you've enjoyed uncovering the dark origins of Halloween, make sure to subscribe to Weird Histories. And don't stop here. Click on the next video to explore bizarre medical practices of the ancient world. You won't want to miss it.